Focused deterrence is really about that 1% of people who are willing to kill or be caught up in the game that was going to lead to a killing. So we individually say to them, we will help you or we will stop you. Your choice. Here's the community groups, here's the mayor, here's the people who want to help you. Please take us up on it. If you don't, I'm telling you, we know who you run with, we know what you've been doing, it's just a matter of time. And we're increasingly seeing that happen. The 68% case closing number for this year is unbelievable compared to Philadelphia and the history of Delaware County. It hasn't been over 50% since 2004. We've done it for 3 years in a row, and that's sending a message, right, that if you do mess with us, if you do kill somebody, we're going to hunt you down and get you. We're now at the point where we can hear bad guys on prison calls telling their compatriots back home, don't do it, put down the guns. My deputy DA, Krause, got a call last year after a shooting. Stephen knows this. One of the leaders of a group called him up and said, we had nothing to do with that. This is hours after a shooting. He's calling a deputy district attorney saying, that wasn't us. We didn't do it. We're getting the message. So, and I think that that's what these people need to hear. And a lot of these young people who are involved in this stuff, they want something else to do. There's a lack of opportunities in this country. It's been 70 years since we've invested in our cities in this country. I mean, my family was able to get in the middle class because of manufacturing jobs. Well, those jobs aren't here anymore, right? We got to bring them back. We got to provide opportunities to people. We can only do so much, particularly, in law enforcement. We can only do so much, and we're partnering with people who can do more. But at the national and at the state level, we need more help. But on an individual basis, Roxanne, if somebody who we have identified as being a shooter or a potential shooter or victim comes forward, absolutely we drop everything and give them help. And Stephen, his cell phone number is now known throughout the city of Chester, for better or for worse for poor Stephen, because he's been doing a lot of this work himself.
So Commissioner Gretsky, I wanted to ask you, part of what is interesting and I think can be difficult about focused deterrence is having to tell police officers who, that they're maybe not going to make an arrest, right? That we may not go and arrest that guy because we have a different approach to trying to cut violence. So how do you square that with the people in your command?
So I'll give you, when I took over as commissioner in 2020, we had our highest homicide rate for the city of Chester. I took over in October, and the first thing I did was I put out a vision statement to my officers, and my vision statement makes you feel more of a team, not just your badge number that sits on the collar, your pins. Also, I went back to the rooting of policing, community policing. A lot of times, I would hear complaints, you see officers sitting on 291, hiding by Harris Casino, you see them sitting by a field. But now, with us partnering together, they know the clergy members, they know the steward members, they're out on feet. Years ago, there was a detail called Operation Trigger Lock, where we would just proactive, try to lock up as many people as we can. I renamed it Operation Safe Streets. Go out, buy the kids ice cream, let's shoot hoops, let's throw the football, get out and know everyone. And last week, with Melissa Murall from his office, there was an individual who had control on the city of Chester for years, and we would use the OG term. He would never come to the police station. I met him, I talked to him, he came there. His father was killed in the city of Chester. His uncle's doing life for murder. And he told Melissa, he goes, I would never ever step in here. The only reason I'm stepping in here is respect for Stephen. And we're gonna bring him on, and he spoke to a group of individuals already, and he has a lot of influence in the city of Chester. He goes, you know how this game goes. You got an option A, the cemetery, or option B, the penitentiary. And when you have a police officer sitting next to him, they could feel that. You could feel the energy coming from him, but they would never think that me and him would be sitting next to each other.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Can I just say something to you?
Yeah.
Because that's fantastic. But Stephen is the new generation of police officer. I think there's a misconception of people policing in this country anymore. But they don't want to just lock people up. They want to be public servants. They want to be guardians of their community. What Stephen is articulating is, I think, the majority of police officers, certainly the ones that we work with in Delaware County, and I think across the country, we shouldn't just have this 1970s mentality about how police officers are. They're not that way anymore. they want to do what's best for the community. And I think Stephen's leadership speaks for itself in the city of Chester, but we've got police chiefs all over the county who do the same thing, and I think across the country. And I think we as a community need to say that. I think policing has gotten too bad a name in the last few years. It's not the 1970s anymore. Frank Rizzo's long dead, even in the city of Philadelphia. The police officers are servants. They're public servants. These are people who are willing to walk in and get shot and killed for people they don't even know. We've got to give them the honor and respect, but we also have to demand accountability. And Stephen is okay with that, as are every police officer I work with in Delaware County. This is a new world, and we're ready for it.